whatever. Now, I understand this is the live stream. I believe this will be easier for me to record videos in this format from now on. So, in this video, as you can tell from the title, I'm going to be showing you guys a strategy that I've seen many people use in order to get a ton of money very easily. At the least you can earn is around 20,000 per activity, and at most 30 to 35,000. In around 30 minutes at the start of a run, you can easily get upwards of $100,000 within 20-30 minutes. I believe you could easily reach like $1 million within an hour or two. It should not take you that long once you get the route down. So, in my opinion, the first thing you want to do is have a assault shotgun or some type of high damaging gun. This is what I'm going to use for this run because at some parts of it you are going to need a gun to use. Assault shotgun is fully automatic, it does good damage and has decent range, and it does the job perfectly for me. The other thing you're going to need is this right here, a terabyte. Now, this thing does cost a good amount of money, and it's going to cost a lot of money to, you know, be able to use it for this strategy. So this is it right here. You will need to also own a nightclub before you can use this thing, so that's the downside. Well, you can see all you really need are these three things right here: a drone station, well, not even weapon workshop, you just need a drone station and a specialized workshop. Once you have those, you should be good to go. I would say turret station and weapon workshop just to make it as useful as you can. But once you have that, you are also going to need an oppressor Mark II. Now that's going to set you back a lot of money, so it'll probably be a smart idea for you to do a bunch of activities so you can get the assault shotgun if you want to use it. Like I said, you can use any gun you want to. I just prefer using the assault shotgun. Once you've picked out the weapon you want to use, like I said, all you're going to need is the terabyte. I would personally recommend fully upgrading it. And you do need to buy a nightclub, so since you're more than likely not going to use a nightclub, most people use heists to earn money. Just buy the cheapest one you can get, and then fully upgrade a terabyte, and then buy an oppressor Mark II, and then fully upgrade that as well, because you might as well. So you're obviously going to need to probably spend a lot of money in real life if you want to get this started, or you could just wait until you have enough money of your own to spend on the game. Now we're gonna go in, and I already have everything set up, and I personally pick this spot on the map as the best one because it's somewhat centralized in the city, and depending on the route you want to take, this is the one I take because the first marker for a job we're going to do is in here. And at this distance, it'll activate. So it's just a simple drive down around here to here. And then once you complete that activity, you have to go around to this place, I believe here. Then the route has me coming back into the city to start another activity. You also need to be a CEO as well. I believe you can get a free office, which I believe is this one. Then do this activity, then you want to go back to the terabyte to start the next one, which can take you to a number of places. It can take you down to around here, it can take you up here, it can take you all the way to here. But the main thing is you want to come back. Then once that's done, it'll have you coming back to somewhere to either here, somewhere up in here, or even to around here. And then you want to come back, restock your Mark II because you can only restock your ammunition by calling it in or parking it back in here. And then you want to exit and start the next activity before another one gets off cooldown. I will show you the run. That's just to give you a map explanation of it. Now I'm going to show you the gameplay visual of it. I was also in big zoom because I wanted to get a good, nice wide shot. Now going in, as you can see, here's my Oppressor Mark II. I have full armor upgrade. I have... Oh, that's right. This actually doesn't do anything different. Oh no, here we go. Engine tunes. I have it that fully upgraded. I have the homing missiles. You don't want the stock machine guns, and you sure as shit don't want explosive MGs. Those are going to be bad. And once that's done, you can do whatever. You can use whatever countermeasure you want. You can have whatever engine, lights, livery, whatever. So unfortunately, you can't just back out. Also, I should probably turn off the radio in this thing so I don't get hit with a copyright strike. There we go, off. So yeah, this is pretty much what you want. So what you want to do is you want to go to this thing. Once you're here, you're going to see all these activities. Don't worry about gun running supplies. With this farming strategy, you shouldn't even need to do gun running missions. You should earn enough money to just be able to casually spend the money to buy supplies at a bunker. Not going to get into that in this video, but just know. You want to start client jobs. The first one you want to do is diamond shopping. Now, unfortunately, these two will always be locked, but this is what you need the drone station for. You need these two. You need this to do this efficiently. Without this, all you're really going to be able to do is robbery in progress, which is the third one we're actually going to be doing. Start off, we're going to do diamond shopping.
Okay, you're going to steal a diamond shipment from Angelico Fine Jewelry. Our client wants these rocks, but she won't.
For the sake of doing this, I'm actually going to turn off people talking. Dialogue boost. Oh, I can't. Can I not turn them off? Okay, so we're gonna have to deal with her talking, I guess. So, it requires you to drive your Terabyte to do the mission properly, but to do it faster, you're just gonna leave your Terabyte. This is why you need to be close enough to this location, because it won't show up on your map. You know, first, lock on, blow up that vehicle. They're gonna park as close as you can while pointing in that direction, and then pull out the gun you're using. For the first time of me doing this on camera, I am actually doing this pretty poorly. So yeah, you're gonna want to kill him. We'll kill all of them, and then you want to get out. So as you can see, I have 3 stars. Now I just gotta get out of here without the cops seeing me. Sometimes the cops will see you. If that happens, just do your best to avoid them and stay up in the air. Now the advantage to it is, if you didn't notice it, it said your diamonds are now shown on the map to all the players. That's why you want to do this in a solo public lobby. I'm not going to do a video on it because if I do a video, I'm going to need an entirely different recording software, because PlayStation streaming and recording will not show my menu, so I can't show my settings. So yeah, now that the cops are off of me, as you can see, I pretty much going to be doing this in less than 3 minutes. Like I said, we're gonna go all the way over to here. So you can see there, we got a bunch of experience and an easy $30,000 in less than 3 minutes.
Great job. Your payment should be in your account now.
Now, like I said about restocking missiles on the Oppressor Mark II, this is not a case in which you're gonna want to do it. What you're gonna do is you're just gonna go back into the city. This is where you're going to need to be a CEO. In fact, I think you need to be a CEO to activate Terabyte missions anyway. A lot of activities require you to be a CEO or an MC or a VIP or whatever, so you might as well have an office all the time. Now, with that done, once you get into a habit of remembering how far you're in the city, my thing is typically past the golf course, you're going to want to start Headhunter. Now, there's a reason I didn't say what activities we were doing, is because the visual aid is a little bit better. So for this one, you're going to want to have to angle your thing over to here and kill this guy. Now the trick is you have to make sure that you're going to be killing just the VIPs and not his bodyguards. Like, see right there, I didn't kill anyone, but that's because I decided to do an unlock, because this guy is actually a trickier one. Yeah, unfortunately I'm also pretty bad with the missiles. Now see right there, I accidentally used too many missiles. And I'm not confident because this thing only has 20 missiles. So I'm going to go in to the Terabyte to restock, and I'm going to get right back on and get right back out. And for me personally, a trick that I would say with the Presser Mark II is to just get as low to the ground as you can, so that way you can pick up speed. When it's hovering, it has more speed than it does if you are just flying. Now right there you already saw we killed 2 stationary. That's how Headhunter works. There's going to be 2 stationary, 2 moving in vehicles. The moving in vehicle ones, you're going to need 3 missiles minimum to kill them. And I didn't realize it when I said the warning that this wasn't my original idea. I also know that all these activities are things that people pretty much know all about already. I'm just restating it for the sake of the video. Now see, there's some points like that where the missiles just don't connect. There we go. Now 20,500. That's already $50,000 that we got in less than 10 minutes. In fact, the time it should have taken probably would be like roughly 6-7 minutes. So yeah, now we're going back in because now we're going to do the second activity. Well, not the second activity, but the third activity, second from the Terabyte. Now, as you can see here, we haven't been gone long enough for this countdown to go away. There's a 5-minute timer before you can do client job after client job. It's just like VIP work. Every activity with these types of parameters has a 5-minute cooldown before you can get it again. With VIP work, it's 10 minutes before you can do the same activity, 5 minutes for other activities. For diamond shopping and any other client job, you basically have a 30-minute timer before you can do that activity again. That's why in the beginning I said you get a lot of money within 30 minutes. Because you have to wait 30 minutes before you can start the loop again, where you get a lot of money. Now, with the timer done, we're going to start robbery in progress.
You know what's easier than robbing a bank? Robbing bank robbers. And as luck would have it, there's a 211 on the police scanner, so we're in business.
Yeah, what you're going to do is you're going to cycle through all these cameras until you find cops shooting. Once you find that one, it's going to take a little bit. Sometimes it will be super fast, sometimes it will take a little bit of time. For example, right here, you're going to scroll over until you can get to the interior cameras. Then once you're on the interior, it gives you the bank location and you can back out. Now this one is going to make it actually very fast. This one's pretty quick. Now this one, you're actually going to need a little bit of missiles for. We're going to make sure that we have locked on missiles on. As you can see, it's like right up here. You're going to want to kill the cops outside first. They're not your friends. Now, be sure to watch out for, bonus explosions. But right here, this is where you want to be. Now, as you can see, there's an additional marker because as you could see there for a second, there was a guy with a minigun. Now, I normally don't do this because it's not necessary, but if you want to make it easier, just simply take out the cops that spawn there. Or that spawn pretty much anywhere. Gonna run in, there's gonna be two guys here. The guy in the back will always have the bag. This is also how people say you get the double bag glitch. So if you want to look up a video for that, go ahead. Now this is why you also are going to need to position this thing nice. Because if the cops are going to already be ready to shoot you as soon as you get out. For other locations, there will be a juggernaut and a guy within the explosion radius. So just spam until you only see one enemy on the map. Now what I typically do for city locations is I go on top of the maze bank. For the area that's around here, I typically will just fly up and around here, going straight towards the target zone because they can't really find you. Just gotta wait for the cops to lose you, and then there you go. And yet again, you earn experience for also losing the cops in all these activities. And I'm just gonna fly over to here and deliver to the gold. Now with that done, that's our third out of 4 activities. Now for the sake of convenience, because this does take some rockets, I'm going to go back to the terabyte, and then I'm going to restock, and then I'll show you the final activity you're going to want to do for the loop. But this final activity actually starts the second loop. This activity is a mixture of diamond shopping, headhunter, robbery in progress, and the fourth one, which will be sightseer. The second loop doesn't use the terabyte whatsoever, but you still want it so you can restock your bike. Now first you're going to make sure headhunter is not active yet. We still got 4 minutes. This is actually the fastest I've done it. Now I'm just going to do sightseer. This is going to take you, this as well as the others are going to take a little bit of practice to get used to. Once you get it down, it's just going to make a lot of activities in the game way easier. Now this one is a pain in the ass to do because, well, it randomizes. It doesn't matter where you start it, in the city, bottom of the map, top of the map, sandy shores, whatever. It's always going to be a random positioning. So the Oppressor Mark II and even the Deluxo or the Oppressor Mark I are perfect for these because they get around the map very quickly. But you want to use the Oppressor Mark II because it comes with the terabyte. And you need a terabyte to upgrade and store Oppressor Mark II. And don't even bother trying to do this activity fast. It takes a while to do it. Okay, now we got eyes on the second package, which is now on the northern part of the entire map. This is where I would say you kind of want to use the hill to your advantage. And just the terrain in general. The only tip that I can truly give for doing Sightseer is every time you run it, try to find a route that works with wherever the item ends up. Also, do not worry about height. The Oppressor Mark II will always go straight down. And see, there we go again. It's now 8 kilometers away again. Then again, distance is relative to the shortest, to the fastest legal route. But typically legal takes way longer. So as you can see, out of all the activities, this one is actually taking the longest. And if you remember what the timer for Headhunter was when we started, it was actually around 4.5 minutes. So with this, we'll actually have Headhunter ready to go off the rip once we get back. And that is the second loop. Is to run Sightseer Headhunter, then Sightseer Headhunter, because it'll actually only be a 5-minute cooldown because of how long it takes Sightseer to, you know, do. Sightseer will wrap up like 5 minutes of the Headhunter timer, and Headhunter will wrap up 5 minutes of the Sightseer timer. So in reality, it's just Sightseer, Headhunter, and then there's just a 5-minute wait between it. Now you're just going to do your best to go back to the city. Use whatever marker you wish to use on the map to direct where you're going. For me, that would be the Terabyte or my home. Pretty much all my stuff. The only thing that won't take me to where I need to go is my hangar, my bunker, my facility, and my MC club base. Everything else pretty much points me in the direction I want to go. Now this is not how I actually earned all the money that I did originally. Before, it was survival double RP and money, which is active this week, and the horse track glitch in the casino. So now that we're here, Headhunter is the only activity available. We're just gonna start it, and now this is where the end of the first loop comes. Now once we complete this, there will be a 5-minute timer on Sightseer to complete it, or roughly around 5 minutes. And once that's activated, you just gotta wait for it, then run Sightseer and Headhunter again, and you're good. It's just like an old strategy that people always said, where if you want to have a good, relaxed way to do it, just run Headhunter and Sightseer. If you don't have a Oppressor Mark II, or you strictly have, you know, things that don't work alongside the Terabyte, and all you have is an office, then all you really need to do is just run Headhunter and Sightseer. At the minimum, what you should have is a Armored Kuruma. Sadly, that does have some downsides to it, as in some enemies being in places where you cannot get your car. But that's where you would have to find a workaround. I'm showing you the strategy that requires you to have all the stuff that I listed at the beginning of the video. Well, stream, but this is borderline a video. Now, as you can see, from where we started, we were at around 800,000 something, and now we are almost at, now we are pretty much at over $100,000 of what that was. In fact, we already reached that point when we completed Sightseer. So now, Sightseer is at a 5-minute cooldown, and you want to keep running this loop for about 25-30 minutes. Because I'm going to show you where the diamond shopping is at with me, you know, just doing all those activities. It's currently at 12 minutes. That is pretty much how you want to just keep doing it. And like I said, within an hour you earn over $100,000. Now with that in mind, I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, I hope you drop a like if it was informative. Or just drop a like if you thought that I kept things, you know, somewhat short and didn't talk when it was unnecessary. If you want to see what I want to try to do for the channel in the future, subscribe if you want to keep up to date with me. And even leave a comment if you can think of anything to improve upon with my commentary, with my gameplay. And if you would rather see me do slightly edited videos, or if you would prefer things like this, where I just live stream it and do unedited videos for the sake of the future of the channel. So I hope you guys all enjoyed it. And be sure to see me next time when we find some more windows to add to the spider web. God, that was a shit outro. Just ignore that. I'm still working on the punchline for the end of this videos. Just acknowledge that as like test number 2 of whatever the fuck, since I did it with the Modern Warfare one. Later.